Because ridiculous gatekeeping, mind control censorship is really heating up here on YouTube, please take a second before you watch this video to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and link to all my social media sites before this channel gets disappeared by YouTube thought police. All those links are in the description below. You guys enjoy the video. People use the word censorship, but not many are willing to use the synonym that word can easily be replaced with: control. Censorship is control. A third party seeks to serve as the gatekeeper for the minds of everybody. It's mind control. Controlling access to the free market pool of information is what happens to societies that find themselves in their death throes. So it's fitting that the 70th anniversary of a novel that highlights the unspeakable dangers of censorship is upon us. In October 1947, Eric Blair, known by his pen name George Orwell, wrote a letter to the co-owner of Sacker and Warburg Publishing House. In that letter, Orwell noted that he was in the last lap of the rough draft of a novel, describing it as a most dreadful mess. Orwell had sequestered himself on the Scottish island of Jura in order to finish the novel. He completed it in the following year, having transformed his most dreadful mess into 1984, one of the 20th century's most important novels. Published in 1949, the novel turned 70 this year. And this anniversary provides an opportunity to reflect on the novel's significance and its most valuable but sometimes overlooked lesson. The main lesson of 1984 is not so much that persistent surveillance is bad or that authoritarian governments are dangerous. Those statements are true, but not the most important message. 1984 is at its core a novel about language, how it can be used by governments to subjugate and obfuscate, and how important it is for people to rise up and resist the oppression that censorship brings to the table. Orwell was a master of the English language, and his legacy lives on through some of the words he created. Even those who haven't read 1984 know some of its newspeak. 1984 provides English speakers with a vocabulary to discuss surveillance, police states, and authoritarianism, which includes terms like Big Brother, thought police, unperson, and doublethink. The authoritarian government of Orwell's Oceania doesn't merely severely punish dissent, it seeks to make even thinking about dissent impossible. When inter-party member O'Brien tortures 1984's protagonist, Winston Smith, he holds up his hand with 4 fingers extended and asks Smith how many fingers he sees. When Smith replies, 4, 4, what else can I say? 4. O'Brien inflicts excruciating pain. After Smith finally claims to see 5 fingers, O'Brien emphasized that merely saying 5 isn't enough.
No. That's no use. You're lying. How many fingers, please?
Orwell's own name inspired the adjective Orwellian, which is widely used in modern political rhetoric, often inappropriately. It's usually our enemies who are acting Orwellian, and it's a testament to Orwell's talents that everyone seems to think 1984 is about their political opponents. The political left sees plenty of Orwellian tendencies in the White House and the criminal justice system, and the political right bemoans thought police on college campuses and social media companies turning users into unpersons. But politicians can lie without being Orwellian. And a Silicon Valley company terminating a social media account is nothing like a state murdering someone and eliminating them from history for questioning official stories and exposing corruption. In the same way, perceived academic conformity might be potentially stifling, but it's hardly comparable to a conformity enforced by a police state that eliminates entire words from society. Yet when US government officials use terms like enhanced interrogation, alternative facts, collateral damage, or extremists, they understand that what they're describing is actually torture, lies, innocent civilian deaths, and political dissidents. They just use these euphemisms in order to make their evil more agreeable and palatable to the masses that they're trying to control. They prefer it if others, especially the press, used and believed in Orwellian language that dehumanizes enemies of government and makes their horrific violence sound tolerable or even justified. Through propaganda efforts, it's seemingly more obvious to us that there are far more nefarious and barbaric distortions of language abroad. According to reports by activists and researchers, the Chinese state has put about 1 million people into re-education camps. Reports reveal that these camps are hardly schools. They're brutal indoctrination sites with inmates forced to recite Communist Party propaganda and renounce that which opposes the state. North Korea, the country that comes closest to embodying 1984, has hampered its citizens' abilities to think for themselves with a disheartening measure of success. In her memoir, North Korean defector Yeonmi Park describes discovering the richness of South Korea's vocabulary, noting, "When you have more words to describe the world, you increase your ability to think complex thoughts." It's hardly surprising that when Park read Orwell's classic allegorical novel Animal Farm, she felt as if Orwell knew where she was from. Orwell's work definitely seems prophetic, but whether he was a prophet or just an insider revealing the plans of megalomaniacs by laying the groundwork of predictive programming, one thing's for sure: he identified a necessary feature of any successful authoritarian government. To control you effectively, it can't merely threaten death, imprisonment, or torture. It's not enough for it to ban books or religions. As long as the state doesn't dominate your consciousness, it's under constant risk of overthrow by critical thinkers who don't buy official government stories and mainstream media narratives. Truth that resides in the hearts of individuals is truly a dangerous and destructive treason if it's allowed to continue inside the empire of lies. Unsurprisingly, the US is turning into Orwell's dystopian nightmare. So at a time when political dishonesty is rampant, we should remember 1984's most important lesson. The state, through incessant propaganda, can and will occupy your mind if you let it. In the meantime, just telling the truth is the most destructive thing you can do to combat the controllers who would envelop you in a labyrinth of lies. In times of universal deceit, telling the truth is truly a revolutionary act. If you guys enjoy these videos, subscribe to all my backup channels and backup social media links in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. If you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Also, check out over 100 hard-hitting designs in the shirt store, and if you want to support more content, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal. All those links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.